Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So glad you could join me. This week I want to talk about the do's and don'ts of dating. I will have a blog written on this as well, but I know that some people are actually visual, so I wanted to be able to do something on my channel for this. I have had so much experience in dating. I'm now happily married, but I spent my 20s dating and I spent half of my 30s dating, and it was all very different, the experience. In my 20s I was a lot more footloose and fancy free, and definitely in my 30s I was looking for more commitment and something that was going to provide me with stability, someone that I could rely on, and I found that quite difficult. So I thought I would give you some ideas on things that are okay to do and things that aren't, just from my perspective. So the first one is, it doesn't have to be a dinner that you actually go on. You don't have to do a dinner. Your first date, whether that's introduced through family, friends, online dating, it can be a coffee, a quick drink. It's fine to do that. I know some people argue with the whole factor that, oh, it becomes this whole friend zone. It's a first date. If you have a friendship and it develops into something else, great. But don't put yourself through that starter, main, dessert, coffee. Imagine you've met someone, and this is all due respect to all the people that go on those first dates. It is as daunting as you can get it. People are nervous, people don't know how to be, and then you've gone and given this date like a 4-hour span. Don't do it. Just stick to something quick, sweet. You know, it is a great way of having a bit of an introduction, and if you're going to meet, end it on a pending note so that you do have to exchange numbers. There is something and a reason why you want to meet again. So this 1-hour coffee is a great way to just test the waters, and I think that's the best way to do it. So don't think a dinner is the only thing. You can suggest, well, do you mind if we just go for a coffee? Just, you know, a quick drink. I think it's perfectly fine to do that, and you will find it's less painful for both parties. Number 2, and I'm looking because I have my notes here, is keep the third or fourth date. So now if you're lucky enough to have the first date and it's a quick coffee, you can make the second date a dinner. You can even make it a lunch, so that way at least it's a bit more longer and you get to know each other more. Hopefully in between that time you'll have talked a bit more on phone, you'll have texted each other a lot more. So the third and fourth date, I do think, needs to be an activity. Now that can be cinema, that picnic, a walk, some activity or something where you have some commonality. It's less intense, so less question based, you know, because when you're across a table or having a drink, coffee, dinner, whatever it might be, and those are the first couple of dates you want to do, you've got a gist and an idea of the person and you want to explore it further. You need something to ease that tension of constantly feeling like you have to fill the silence. So do an activity. That could be absolutely anything. You could go on a boat trip on the River Thames. You could do paintballing. I don't think you can actually talk much on paintballing. No, scrap that. But you know, a picnic, you get the gist. Cinema, have a drink afterwards and talk a bit about the movie. Something where there's an activity taking place. I think it just takes the edge off it and it makes it more fun. Fact number 3 is be present. How many times have you gone on a date when someone asks you a question and then when you're answering, they're acting all sort of too busy in their head. They're not present. You know, I think the nicest gift, all jokes apart, in the 21st century in anything is bringing your presence to meeting someone. Learn to listen, actually show interest in what they're saying. It's only an hour out of your day, so you can put your phone away, Twitter, Instagram, all the other social media things that flutter about in our heads, and just bring your presence to the situation and the person in front of you. I think it's so important. We've all forgotten it, But whatever this date is, wherever it's going to lead, you know, bring your presence. You owe it to that person to at least listen to what they got to say. And I think being more attentive is definitely an attractive quality. So definitely learn to listen rather than just trying to blow your own trumpet, talk about yourself. It's all about just you. You know, when you go on that first date, those first impressions count. So show some interest in that person's family life, perhaps their work, their career, their hobbies, their aspirations. Show some interest, and hopefully the other person will too. And I think that's quite endearing. Fact number 4 is go with an open mind. Don't judge the person on the jeans they're wearing, or the way they laugh, or their teeth are crooked, or they're not wearing the right jacket, or oh, he's a bit short. You have to look past the aesthetics. Be a little bit more deeper than that. You know, give the person a chance. Each person has a story to tell. Go with an open heart. Be approachable, and you never know, you might just make a friend out of it, and everyone has a story to tell. 5 is more of a girly thing. Go a little bit casual. I think, you know, this is from my perspective. I think first dates don't need to be the evening date where you wear the dinner, you slap on the big makeup and red lips. No. First date can be quite casual. It makes it less intense, less like you've tried too hard. You know, if you're going for a coffee, stick on some jeans, nice top, a jacket, nude makeup. I just think that works better, and it shows an effortless effort. So don't try too hard on the first date, you know, and I think that works better. I think so. And number 6 is offer to pay. I know that the chivalrous thing is for a man to be a gentleman and for him to pay. Yeah, that's true, but it's also nowadays in the 21st century quite endearing for a woman to be independent, to have her own career, and also to be able to sometimes offer. I think it's quite nice to show that, look, I don't mind, you know, paying the coffee or the lunch, and a man can be a gentleman in many different ways, you know, definitely in his etiquette and the way he, you know, comes across on the first date, maybe pulling out the chair for the lady and perhaps taking her coat off or putting it on for her. So there's different ways. It doesn't just have to be paying the bill, but I think it's okay for the girl to pay the bill and off. I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again, that, you know, it's definitely important to smile, be approachable. Definitely don't bring your stressed out day to that coffee or that lunch. That you've had a manic day, put it aside, take a deep breath, give yourself 5 minutes to just get into the zone of, you know, you're meeting someone to try and sort of say to them, I like you, or are we going to like each other, and maybe we'll meet again. Now, to be able to do that, you do need to put your best foot forward. It doesn't mean you're not who you are, so you're being fake. It just means you need to go with an open heart. You need to go with a smile on your face. You need to be approachable, warm. I think all those things matter. It doesn't matter who comes to you on that day. If that person's projection of their personality is grumpy, derogatory, and not very nice, and I have gone on, so believe it or not, some dates like that, that's their projection of their personality. You stick to warm, smiling, and approachable. Stick to who you are and be nice. I only do 10 because I can waffle, but my pet peeve is don't be too late. You know, yes, you could have left on time and there was an accident and there was things that have happened, or perhaps you know, parking is an issue. Keep communicating with the person you're meeting so they don't just feel that they're just sitting in this coffee shop ordering one coffee off another and you haven't turned up, because it shows a lack of interest. It shows, you know, you didn't show importance to the situation, because you can leave half an hour, 40 minutes earlier. If you're having a coffee in a town centre, even if you get there earlier, you can have a little wander around the shops and then get there earlier. You do need to make that first impression. So first date, it's definitely important. In order to get to the second date, you cover things that are really important to you. You don't want to be going on the first date and thinking, well, I didn't really ask these questions, I'm not really sure, yeah, let's just go on another date. Then you've just walked into a dinner, and halfway through the dinner you may, or earlier on into the dinner, you may realize this person's not for me, and you've got the whole dinner to go through. So don't do it. If there are certain things that are really important, try and drop it into conversation. I'm not saying make that coffee more intense than it needs to. If it goes goes on to another date and then you have to, that's fine. But try and slip it in there somewhere, and try and gauge, you know, the things that are important to you much more earlier on. Try not to linger the date so that you've just wasted his and your own time. Can cover things that are important to you. Ask yourself what's important to you, and definitely put that into the conversation. Fact, and I hope you have enjoyed this, but the last date, and I did mention this in the beginning, leave the first date with something pending. That means that you then have to exchange numbers, email, or whatever it might be, so that you can still get in touch with each other. Maybe you said, oh God, I really want to watch this movie on the cinema. So you say, well, look, should we catch that movie? Or there's a theatre show you want to do, which is a really good activity to do. Theatre, really nice. You can have dinner afterwards and have a little chat. So that's actually a good one. So come up with some reason, a pending reason to ask for the number. Don't make it sleazy and just at the end, just suddenly spring it on the person, and the person hasn't even given you an inkling. So, you know, try and find some kind of commonality through the date, and then see whether there's something pending that you want to do that you can then get their number and meet again. Go shopping for something, and maybe you could come along with me and give me your opinion. Some way, I mean, the other person will know you're trying to keep it open, but that's also flattering because you're trying to do it not so direct, but at the same time, you're trying to say, look, I want to meet you again. And if it doesn't work, just say that. You know, if you can tell that the person definitely likes you, was just making you sweat, just say it. But yeah, so these are my 10 facts that I thought would be quite interesting on do's and don'ts. I learned that as I went along, and I think the biggest thing is just be yourself. You know, that if I can tell you anything out of all these, is be yourself. Don't try and be something you're not. Yes, put your best foot forward, but ultimately you have to be the person that you are, and the person in front of you has to like you for those qualities. If you fake it for the first 3 dates, you're just lying to yourself. You know, there is lots of people out there that will like you and love you for your quirks and your perfections and imperfections. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe. Leave some comments below. Be kind. And I hope you join me again. You can follow me on all my social media platforms. I have Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I'll leave them in the description below. And I'll see you soon. Bye.